Come on in, brothers and sisters. The water is fine. It's the water of truth and the water of life. And the truth is setting us free. Come on in. We're going to talk about surviving versus thriving, or survive versus thrive. And I just want to say congratulations, everybody, because we survived the last few years. Now we're heading into the thriving time, because Papa doesn't want us to just merely get by and just survive. He wants us to thrive and rise into the great things that he has planned for us. So come on in. I have some bits and pieces of different ideas. Holy Spirit's been whispering in my ear. Be light of heart. Let light in your eye. Which then inspired me to write a poem a few days ago, so I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to talk about not being judge or jury and being careful about that. And also, I'm going to talk about a very interesting C.S. Lewis essay that he wrote ages and ages ago about the universe and observing it, right? You know how much I'm into observing the natural God flow, the natural rhythms of nature in the earth. And so come on in, we'll check those things out. And I'm Andrew, Hiking Druid, and you're watching the Hiking Druid channel. Thanks for stopping by. And we're going to have some interesting topics to talk to you about today. And I am actually very excited. I had a walk today. I had an orange creamsicle health replacement shake after I got home, which always energizes, as it's got such great nutrition. And when you give your body natural, well-balanced nutrition, like what's in the shake, which I drink quite often. It actually helped me to lose 25 pounds in about a month and a half, and that's delicious. Orange creamsicle was one of my favorites when I was a kid. Get from the ice cream man, the ice cream truck that would come around the neighborhoods. And beautiful. It's very excellent. And check out the link, if you would, down below. Get yourself the free guide if you haven't gotten it already. Folks have been telling me that it's been very useful to them, and they've enjoyed the newsletter as well, which you can sign up for when you're signing up for the free guide. So yes, thank you for stopping by. And if you would, also, when you're looking below to check out that guide, well, right below that is a Give, Send, Go if you feel like donating. And you can click on that and just check out what the fundraising is for. And I think you'll find that kind of interesting. I hope you will. Also, like and subscribe, because that's how you can help with allowing more people to actually get to see this. That's what the logarithms do on most of these platforms. So come on, let me start with, why don't I start with this poem? It's just one page long. I wrote late last week, and it's called Being of Light. Be light of heart. Look to the sky. Let light be in your inner eye. All right? You know what that is? What flows in can cleanse you. Yes, it's meant to purify and heal us too. Our pineal has been polluted. Our connection to Papa convoluted. Purposely calcified and smothered so we don't empathize so we don't empathize with one another. But we know the sun, it cleanses both our heart and our sun gaze lenses. So get out and soak up those healing rays, sharing truth during these awakening days. A.D. Boynton, 4/27, 2023. So there is how we can actually, keep ourselves strong, which is one of the things you'll see is a running theme through the newsletter I just mentioned, through the guide that I wrote that I want to send you for free as a PDF, and also through a lot of the videos observing how to help others observe, which is a lot of what the permaculture training center that I'm going to start is going to do. It's going to help people get their hands into Mother Earth, right? Into the ground, which is something we've disconnected from. And it's how we can thrive because we are designed to interact with the soil, with the plants, with the animals. We're supposed to be interacting with these natural rhythms more often. Okay, here's another idea I had a couple days ago. We are not judge and jury. Be careful. If there's an actor or singer we like, they are not automatically serving the cabal. We know that some are, but there's also redemption depending how far into that evilness they went. And I think pretty much, and I'm not the judge here, and I'm not a professional about the Bible, but I do study it daily. And it is an amazing set of informative truths in order to know about how this human body and our souls are meant to come together with Holy Spirit, Papa, Jesus, the Christ, and one another in order to build stronger, more goodly, godly civilization. And also in order to teach others about how this is so important to us as sovereign members of mankind. Okay? But you're not the judge and jury, and we're meant to be mankind. Put a capital K on that kind when you think about mankind. And not every single successful person is secretly evil, serving the swamp or the deep state or the cabal. I fell for that as well. I think most of us have. It is disappointing, but justice is also, in a way, its own reward, and it is how we honor our Heavenly Father, who I call Papa. And so good to be aware of that. And you know, maybe tamp down on that. It's another way of dividing and conquering. It's sort of shocking when people are just starting to become more awake and aware. If you just go down the list of everyone you know, you're gonna push them away. If everyone you suspect, let me stress that, because we don't know. We don't know. But we are heading into the thriving time of this. It is so certain. As long as we stay strong, stay wise, continue to do battle in the spirit with the enemy, with the little liar, with the minions, bind them, keep them confused, put the walls of love and light around them, that weakens them, as above, so below here in the spiritual world and upon the solid earth plane. These planes are different levels, and this solid place that we live right now, which is temporary and actually very swiftly passing by all the time and constantly in flux, although there's such a beautiful order to it, it is this place that teaches us how to be patient, but how to be strong, and how to do the right thing, and how to try to help our children to see it and to be it. Okay, so yeah, don't be so fast to think that everyone's evil. Some people are very successful because they're very hardworking and very talented. Okay, we will find out. None of us really knows what is what about these people. However, you can make some pretty intelligent conclusions or deductions. When you do the research. And I would say, do the research. You need to do the research. Be prepared to get angry, to get sick, and to discover how strong you are, that we need to make the changes. And we need to share the information, but like plant a seed, don't dump a whole dump truck load of seed at once on somebody. It's not fair. You didn't find out everything at once. Why do that to somebody else and then expect them to listen to you? You need to be loving and patient. That's how you guide others. Like if someone's walking out of a very deep, dark cave and they've been back there in complete darkness, and I've been in that kind of place, exploring caves in the mountains. And sometimes when you're way back there, you just shut your light off. It's amazingly cool and quiet, exciting, and maybe a twinge of frightening. But let's say you're walking out of that. You've been back there for a while. You're walking out, and someone is standing there to try to help you. Let's say you drop your flashlight, or I think, as they say in England, your torch, and you dropped it and broke it. Okay, but you're coming back out, and a friend is coming in, and they have a light. Now, if you want to be the one who's going to show them the way out, you don't shine the light into their eyes, right? Because that's just blinding. It's too much light at once. You shine it down towards their feet, and part of the reflection of the light, their eyes will see, but they won't be blinded, and you can lead them out of the darkest cavern with gentle light towards their feet. Okay? It's cruel to shine it in their eyes, especially if they've been in dark for a long time. Think about that. Okay, so that is part of how we together help to start moving towards this time of thriving that I'm getting a lot of information about. It's the Great Awakening. It's the reason for the Great Awakening. It's this time of thriving. It's connected. It's completely connected. On my book that I'm getting close to finishing, The Logic of God, I'm on a section where I'm talking about different ways that you observe the God flow, and in some of the insects like walking sticks and bees and ants and the amazing monarch butterfly. As you really look into their life cycles and their hive mind in some of those insects, not all of the ones I just mentioned, but even in these tiniest of creatures, there's this awareness and there's this balance, and people like to call it instinct because it then you don't have to think about it anymore, but it's more organized at times than just instinct. But it also helps to do away with theories like evolutionary theory that are totally disproved by the life cycles of monarch butterflies. I mean, if you look into that, and it does not align with simple chance. Okay, it's so much more organized than that. Also, that leads me to the next topic. C.S. Lewis, I mentioned at the beginning. He has many, many, many books. Probably his most famous ones are Mere Christianity and The Chronicles of Narnia. A lot of people don't realize he actually wrote science fiction books back in the 40s. And some of those are very interesting. But the one I'm reading right now is like a collection, and I've actually read it through, and I'm starting to read it again. Because, well, folks, I read bunches of books at the same time. So if a few super interesting ones grab my eye, I might take months and months to finish one while I'm scurrying through others. And that's what happened with this. This was it's called The Joyful Christian, C.S. Lewis. And it's a collection of his writings, essays, some letters, some excerpts from his other famous book called The Screwtape Letters, which was about the devil, or the devil's, some of the demons working for the devil, and how they try to affect and then infect us. But this is one right near the beginning about the universe that was so interesting. I'm going to read a chunk of it, maybe a page of it. It sort of shows how sometimes science can't find out, about God, because it just needs all the facts and figures, and God is beyond the facts and figures, and so it's more individual. And this essay is entitled "The Universe," and it goes into. I mean, I was just happened to be writing in my book in a section that sort of is reflected when I restarted reading this book, and there it was. Like, this is serendipitous, right? It's also known as the God wink. What was the name of that writer? When God winks at you. This is another great book, and an interesting series. Squire Rushnell when God winks at you. Let me get in there so you can see there. Pause it if you want to get his name. I think C.S. Lewis, most people already know, but yeah, when God winks at you. I've lent this book, and there's a couple other follow-up ones. I've lent this book to people that it's really touched them. It's filled with short stories, but not stories. Short things that have happened to people that, it's like it answers that question, how much coincidence is it until it's not coincidence anymore? I mean, how much can you have and still keep calling it that? I don't think there's very much actual reality as a coincidence at all. Almost never. I mean, yes, of course. Very rare, though. Most of it is God teaching us something, teaching tools. If you pay attention, right? Like Bill Cosby used to say, pay attention, you might learn something. Okay, the universe. We want to know whether the universe happens to be what it is for no reason, or whether there is a power behind it that makes that makes it what it is. Since that power, if it exists, would be... Okay, this print's too small. Hang on, I'm gonna have to get glasses on for my reading glasses. I had, and this sounds pretty funny, but it's not funny, but odd. I had cataract surgery in my mid-30s, and so my far away vision is perfect in my right eye. My left eye is pretty much blind because I was born with a cataract, so that never really gets better. But my right eye was starting to get cataracts. So that was bad since I already had them in my left eye from birth. So yeah, they took that out, and that affects the ability for your eye to adjust. Part of what they took out is that adjusting. So anyway, I can see really great far away, but up close, I had to start getting reading glasses. Hang on, I'll go grab them. Alrighty, scholarly boy here. I don't like to wear them all the time because they are reading glasses, so they're pretty strong for up close stuff, and they actually can make your eyes tired. I never liked to wear collective lenses too long. I think it actually will make your eyes dependent on them. So I don't like to be a slave to anything, including eyeglasses. I'm going to start again. The universe. We want to know whether the universe simply happens to be what it is for no reason, or whether there is a power behind it that makes it what it is. Since that power, if it exists, would be not one of the observed facts, but a reality which makes them no mere observation of the facts can find it. There is only one case in which we know whether there is anything more, namely our own case, right? Person to person, that's different. And in that one case, we find there is. Or, put it the other way around, if there was a controlling power outside the universe, it could not show itself to us as one of the facts inside the universe. No more than the architect of a house could actually be a wall or staircase or fireplace in that house. The only way in which we could expect it to show itself would be inside ourselves as an influence or a command trying to get us to behave in a certain way. like Holy Spirit as a guide. And I added that part myself, sorry. Keep going with C.S. Lewis. And that is just what we do find inside ourselves. Surely this ought to arouse our suspicions. In the only case where you can expect to get an answer, the answer turns out to be yes. And in the other case where you do not get an answer, you see why you do not. Sensible? Suppose someone asked me, when I see a man in a blue uniform going down the street, leaving little paper packets at each house, why I suppose that they can contain letters. I should reply, because whenever he leaves a similar little packet for me, I find it does contain a letter. And if he then objected, but you've never seen all these letters which you think the other people are getting, I should say, of course not. And I shouldn't expect to, because they're not addressed to me. I'm explaining the packets I'm not allowed to open by the ones I'm allowed to open. That's very logical. It is the same about this question. The only packet I'm allowed to open is man. When I do, especially when I open that particular man called myself, I find that I do not exist on my own, that I am under a law, that somebody or something wants me to behave in a certain way. I do not, of course, think that if I could get inside a stone or a tree, I should find exactly the same thing, just as I do not think all the other people in the street get the same letters as I do. And by the way, I don't get mad because they haven't gotten the same letters as I do. I actually revel in it and think it's incredible and amazing. Sometimes it's irritating, but usually it's incredible and amazing. Okay, back to C.S. Lewis. This is almost done. I just got like one more sentence, maybe two. That's why these are actually very interesting essays. Some of them are so short, but he was a master of this. I should expect, for instance, to find that the stone had to obey the law of gravity, that whereas the sender of the letter merely tells me to obey the laws of my human nature, he compels the stone to obey the laws of its stony nature. But I should expect to find that there was, so to speak, a sender in both cases, a power behind the facts, a director, a guide. I love that part. As I've been saying, Holy Spirit is a guide. I, too, am a guide. Teachers are supposed to be guides, not propagandists. See the difference? That's why I think the term teacher is even going to go away, because they've destroyed it unless we can define it as what it was supposed to be. But I think just guide will be better. That's what I'm going to do in the permaculture farm. I'll be guiding young people, their parents, anyone that wants to come and relearn what God set in motion originally for us to enjoy and experience in order to learn how to be better and to thrive and to continue to grow and not stagnate. We're not supposed to stay at the same level for years and years and years and years and years. We should be constantly learning new things. then we wouldn't get bored. Boredom tends to lead mankind off the straight and narrow trail. Doesn't have to. I said tends to. I do try very hard not to say all things, all people are this way, all Democrats are that way, all Republicans are this way. It's just not true. I've never actually seen it to be true, that any given group are all the same. One of the great things is, like C.S. Lewis was saying about the letters, you get certain letters from the Creator that jive with what you've already experienced and learned and build up. Of course, we're all headed towards truth, the truth. It's not my truth and your truth. It's the truth, okay? But there can be lots of shades, shading, coloring, descriptions, variations caused by what we've experienced in our life, his life, her life, their life, different, it's subtle and huge, glaring differences between people. And it's okay. It's okay. As long as you're trying to understand, trying to get to the truth, trying to find out, where the lies are and try to veer back to the truth. Lie, keep going to the truth. Another lie is roadblock lie. Sometimes when you're hiking, you have to scramble over boulders, go way over to your right, get around a tree that's fallen into the way. Well, the little liar puts lots of these boulders and trees in our trail. If you want to stay on the straight and narrow trail, though, you don't go miles to the right to get around one tree. And sometimes you just crawl over the tree or go under the tree, crouch down and go under the part of the tree that allows for that. You go over a rock. Sometimes you have to go under slabs of rocks that have fallen from a cliff, maybe 100 years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago, maybe yesterday. And you sometimes have to go under these things that you can't climb over. But you don't go too far off the trail, because then you might lose the trail. That's why they say the trail or path to heaven is a straight and narrow way that most people don't travel. It's not easy. The easier, broader path tends to lead to destruction. Jesus the Christ teaches us that. He also teaches us to be loving to one another, to be loving as he loved us, as he loves us, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. Hope you like that. Don't just survive, thrive. That's straight from Holy Spirit to me. A year or two ago, he mentioned it and I wrote it down. I want great things for you, Andrew, not just okay things. And somewhere else he told me about thriving, not just surviving. Anyway, he's hammering me with it again, so I thought I'd jump on here and share it with you, and I hope you understand that it is your trail to follow, to trek, to hike, to walk, to run, according to your abilities, according to your heart cry. But the Bible sets the map to how you can do that and reach the goodly, godly hereafter, and to reach that higher realm of understanding even before we kick off from here. So remember that God loves you so much. The creator of all things says that you are the apple of his eye and that you are beautiful and wondrously made. He loves you. I love you. I thank you. I bless you. I send love to you. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. It really helps more than you think. And I also appreciate you folks that have contacted me, that have gotten the newsletter, that talk to me on my Telegram or Facebook, or I'm also on BitChute, YouTube, and Rumble, and Truth Social. So look forward to meeting more and more of you folks. It's been so exciting meeting people in Australia, who are really cool, by the way. England, who are also really cool. I never should have said that. Everybody I'm meeting is just so cool. I'm not going to keep saying that. Interesting, trying to find the truth. Most people are pretty kind-hearted and loving. There's a few people that I think are actually controlled opposition that or plastic patriots, some of those that I don't think were actually patriots to start with. I think they were plants. That's the divide and conquer. We need to get by it and just don't let negative people into our lives. It's simple. It's easy. If you have to block people on some of these things, just do it and stay away from them. Plant a seed. You don't have, but don't be block crazy either. You could just ignore people, but like on Facebook, I say, this is my wall. You want to share your opinion, be polite. If you start attacking people for their opinions, that's when I might say, bye-bye now. I just don't need it. I don't want to be around that way of thinking that everybody else is wrong and my idea is just the only right thing and everyone else is evil because they don't agree with me. It's great that people have different ideas, especially when they are honestly trying to find the truth. We know that we've been lied to about everything, almost everything. 95% of what we've been told was sheer and utter nonsense. And they've shifted the dates in history. I love history. They've changed that. Now it's like every 5 to 10 years, they're changing it. Terms that we use for people. Nope, can't use that anymore. Good, say this. Nope, can't use that anymore. Oh, by the way, we're going to use this flag to represent this when we know the rainbow was given to us by God. But hey, there you go. It's like really? We're going to take these symbols. Q was saying the symbols are their downfall. And that's because cabal, deep state, swamps types, they are really into symbols, and they're really into twisting the goodly, godly symbols, into like a mirror image of the way God intended it. Well, guess what? We're twisting it back to what God intended it to be. 6 is just the number of man. Okay? It's not an evil number. 13 is not an evil number. It's the number of moon cycles in a year. 13 months. That's what the year was originally, and probably will be again. I mean, it just makes sense to follow the actual cycle of what God set in motion instead of like some man that, had a big hat and was pretty full of himself and said, well, we'll just do away with that. I won't get any more sidetracked. I'm going to go, and I hope you like this, and I want to get this shared with you guys. Plus, I'm getting hungry. It's dinner time. So, which is what I call lunch. I have my big meal around then. Okay, so check out some of the links below and get that guide, get my newsletter so we can stay in touch, even if I get kicked off for talking the truth too much. So far, I've been able to choose my words fairly wisely on most of these outfits. Have been, if some of them are secretly, controlling who gets my information, but the more likes and rumbles and stuff should help that to information get out there. And God bless you with strength and good health and abundance of joy and energy and love. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. You're great. Thank you.